Mexico has got to help us at the border. If they're not going to help us at the border, it's a very sad thing between two countries. Mexico has got to help us at the border. And a lot of people are coming in because they want to take advantage of DACA. But Mexico has got to help us at the border. They flow right through Mexico. They send them into the United States. Can't happen that way anymore. Thank you.
Welcome back to this special edition of Hannity, America's illegal immigration crisis. President Trump is publicly calling out Mexico and pushing its government to do its part and help secure the border between our two countries. This comes as migrants from Central America are flowing through Mexico into the United States. Just how bad is the situation on our southern border? Joining us now is the president of the National Border Patrol Council and 20-year Border Patrol veteran, Brandon Judd, and former sheriff from Pinal County, Arizona. Arizona is my home state, Paul Babu. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for being here tonight. Brandon, I'll start with you. Your reaction to the president calling on Mexico to do more.
He did the absolute right thing. When you look at it, Mexico is actually facilitating, the government of Mexico is actually facilitating these individuals to come up to our borders and break U.S. law or the sovereignty of the United States. He should absolutely call on the leaders of the Mexican government to put an end to this. They have very strict immigration laws, yet they're throwing their laws over their shoulder to allow these people to come up and break our laws. That cannot happen.
Sheriff Babu, I want to talk to you about the local law enforcement perspective of this. You were in charge of a county, Pinal County, which is not a border county, but it's in a border state and has border county problems. So talk about how when Mexico allows thousands of people to come through into the United States without stopping them or vetting them, how that affects deputies on the ground.
Well, crime. One, you're adding criminal illegals. Besides, it's not just the millions and millions of illegals who are here. Many of them are, as President Trump has pointed out, have criminal records in their home countries, never mind here. And it's figures as high as 30% of these millions and millions. So there's a cost of that, not just in terms of incarceration and law enforcement, but also with education and medical care. It's estimated just for the state of Arizona, your home state, which we're very proud of you, is close to $2 billion every year. So this is an extreme cost, not just in terms of the social and the law enforcement aspect, but in terms of actual dollars and cents. So what's different here is that these aren't just illegals being escorted by coyotes or guides. This is an actual, almost like, as Brandon pointed out, sanctioned by the government of Mexico, 1,200 potentially marching towards the border. And even though that may sound like a small number, how we deal with this sends a message to Mexico, to Central America, because if we accept them as refugees or asylum seekers, we're going to see tens and tens of thousands replicating this.
Yeah, President Trump took a little bit of heat today, Brandon, for saying and arguing that these illegal aliens are coming to the United States to take advantage of DACA. What he should have said is they're coming to take advantage of any kind of amnesty that gets put on the table for people who get their feet on the ground here. We saw this in 2014 with the child immigration, unaccompanied minor crisis, when people just sent their kids up and knew that if they could go there and stay there, they'd get sent to a family member in the United States and would never be sent back. So talk about the fact that when anyone in Washington starts talking about some kind of amnesty, whether it's DACA, the Dreamer program, anything, citizenship, we see an increase of unaccompanied minors, illegal aliens coming across the border, and specifically in the last couple of months, family units making it across, hoping they get to stay.
All you have to do is go down and speak with the individuals that are impacted, the ranchers. I was out on a tour of the border with Senator Cornyn, Senator Heller, and a couple other senators a couple months ago, and we were at a ranch estate, and the owners of the estate specifically said every single time we start talking about immigration reform or an amnesty, we see hundreds of people come across our ranch. They find dead bodies on their ranch all the time, and the increase is always when we start talking about an amnesty program. We cannot talk about any sort of amnesty, whether that's DACA or comprehensive immigration reform, unless we secure the border first. Once we secure the border, then we can start talking about things so that we don't put ourselves in this same situation 5-10 years from now. IRCA of 1986 was supposed to fix that problem.
Right.
And it didn't, because they put the cart before the horse. They legalized everybody, but they didn't put the border security measures in place. We have to put the border security measures in place first.
All right, the White House has made it very clear that they want to solve this problem once and for all. They don't want to have to be dealing with it later on. But, Sheriff, I want to talk to you about the human aspect of this, because people who stand up for border security are accused of being inhumane. They're accused of being racist. They're accused of not being empathetic to those who are fleeing violent situations. But what about the journey here? I've always said that open borders are inhumane borders. I'm sure that you've seen some terrible things as a result of people being told by these coyotes, we'll take care of you, we'll take you through the desert, we'll make sure it happens just fine. And it actually turns out to be a horrific experience for these people.
It is. They're victimized. Not only it's brutal because of the barren deserts, and they're walking days upon days. Many of them die, hundreds each year, it's estimated, and they're victimized as well. Not only they're spending their life savings giving it to these escorts, these coyotes, they're robbing them, they're raping them. We've had countless cases in my 8 years as sheriff where they've been raped multiple times. These are juveniles. And so, and to your point about us, and what some liberals say, we're not compassionate or we're not being true to our proud history as a land of immigrants, completely false. We are the most compassionate, most generous nation still to this day. Nearly 1 million illegal immigrants each and every year that we allow in, far in excess of any other nation. So we're proud of that. But we can't just have open borders and whoever wants to get to the border, you're home free. Yeah. Those were the Obama days, and we're done with those.
Yeah, Brandon, Sheriff, we're out of time, unfortunately, but thank you so much for bringing your on-the-ground perspective to the show. We really appreciate it. Well, coming up, President Trump is saying that a deal on DACA is dead and Democrats are to blame. We'll debate that next on this special edition of Hannity.